Sector that's stands out for me that you're very bullish on is pharma and API. Run us through the thought process, and I'll ask a bit more about pharma as well, because looking at the top holdings, it's very interesting. One of the pharma companies that you hold has done very well, and one has not done well. So I'll ask you that, but generally for the pharma and API, what's your thought process and why you're bullish?
I think, more than pharma and API, pharma in general, domestic pharma is doing well for quite some time, and we've been very bullish on pharma for last 3 years. Or 2.5 years, specifically after the pricing pressure. US FDA regulator visited India, and that was a very big sign of that the pricing pressure will start going down on international markets. And secondly, domestic market was doing very well. So that segment we've been quite positive, and I think should do well. But more than API, I think we've been very bullish on CDMO as a
CDMO players, yeah.
That I think is a very big trend, probably pretty much like what, in some sense minor, but what IT was, in the 90s and all, whatever, because a lot of outsourcing is going to happen on that front. Move from that. That's where the China Plus One is there, and Biosecure Act got passed recently as well. But even if that was not happening, we were positive that it will move away. And right now the companies are very small. I won't be surprised in fullness of time if we see companies with 5, 6, 7, 8 lakh crore market cap in this segment coming about. That kind of potential it has. So you have to see the very long-term trend, and that is how we are seeing. And companies will do well in periods of time. So, company which we own, Laurus, has done very well in last 1 year, and we've just bought another one which we think will do very well. Yeah. So that's how you kind of look at it, but there will be cycles intermittently in this.
The other space which you are very bullish on is BFSI, both credited and non-credited. I think that constitutes nearly 30% of your portfolio. Quickly, if you can run through what's the logic there, what's the thesis there, and why you're bullish?
Again, same thing. I think if economic growth picks up, credit growth picks up, which I was saying that because I think when your regulator is trying to say
you're trying to play those themes via different companies than what the large private bank seems to be. Because in your portfolio, it's more about AB Capital, more about those kind of.
So yeah, how do you play that is
individual.
Yeah, I mean we've been playing more through my large weight is through ICICI Bank and Aditya Birla Capital, because we think that's where Aditya Birla Capital is going at 25% for last 3 years, right? So that's a more company-specific issue, but the tailwind is there. When your regulator is saying that I want to see the credit growth happening, that itself tells you that there's a tailwind, right? And of course, all ingredients of economy are in place. So that's a segment. So eventually, as economy grows, your channelization of savings into users of the capital is going to happen, and it essentially happens through the BFSI, players, right? So companies have grown over the last 20 years, and I'm sure these companies will grow over the next 10, 15, 20 years as economy grows. So it is not possible that, economy does well, but BFSI does not do well, generally speaking, right? So that's our call.